of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. We have everybody present tonight. Great. Thank you. Introduction to guests. Frank, you're up first, sir.
Okay, what?
Here.
Yeah, good. Chris?
Facebook Live.
Okay.
Yep.
Tim?
Facebook Live.
I'm here. Pete? I'm here. Jack?
Okay, I do have a couple of things I'd like to get a hold of if possible. According to you guys, you've contacted Fish and Game and the other one. I need addresses is all. Addresses and phone numbers. I'll take care of it from there.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
I've been working on this for 15 years, Jack. Randy, Bill, we've been to meetings with the EPA in Spokane. I went to meetings at the EPA offices in Spokane.
We've had the legislatures,
Yeah.
lators here.
Yeah.
We'd be more than happy to give you the numbers.
I'll take
Sick 'em.
Yeah.
Because this thing ain't gonna rest.
Well, it was, I just telling you, that was 11 years ago
Yeah.
that we had that kind of event on this frozen ground again.
There was
flooded,
20-some people in that meeting.
that flooded, and we got to dredge one bucket out of the creek.
Yeah.
Was the answer at that
And
time.
it was up on this end of the.
And we couldn't even keep the dirt. We had to haul the dirt off. They couldn't build the banks
Yeah.
with the one bucket. That was their solution then.
Right.
And we at that point we've gone to DOT.
Yeah, they only let me get from point A to point B, and went as far as I would reach off the highway bridge, and that was
I'd
it.
like to know, how come it's dredged from the state highway down?
The state highway. Why it isn't dredged, or
Why
why
it is?
from the state highway down it isn't dredged? That's the problem.
Well, where
Are
did
you
that
talking
all that
about?
dirt on the bank come from?
You talking
To
about
protect
south
them?
of town,
Yeah.
or what?
That dirt,
Well-
that was brought in. That dirt was all brought in to over here where the bank is, like by
Well, where that new house is going
yeah.
in.
They brought DOT.
From there on out.
I think DOT. All that
It was,
DOT.
What's
Two previous owners ago.
yeah, 2
Yeah.
owners ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
for
they,
that dirt
they
to drop
cleaned
in.
out and built that bank up.
But it doesn't matter because it comes around the other side. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I mean that
Yeah.
it's ineffective. It doesn't
Right,
help.
yeah.
It doesn't hurt. It's ineffective.
Our problem here isn't in town here. It's down there from Highway 27
That's
on.
where that
That
patient's
needs
always
to be
flooded.
cleaned out and
From
down.
there clear on out.
Yep.
It's
Right.
Yep.
Killville.
Yep.
And it hasn't helped. The county has the ability to dredge. They have an open ticket that
Yeah.
they can dig.
They can clean out
dig. So
ditches.
the
Yeah.
water flow
So it all
coming
comes here.
into town
Yeah.
is very sufficient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over-sufficient,
Yeah.
yeah.
But once it gets to town, legislative, we can't do anything.
No.
We have tried and tried and tried, and they, till, like I said, for 10 years, 11 years was the last time. And
Yeah, well,
Yep,
The
exactly.
biggest
Yeah.
question I got with it is why can't you pull the tree limbs out of it?
Well,
At
okay.
least let it flow.
There's another question there. The railroad was working on this trestle right here. They had canvases down over the water because they were drilling holes and putting up
In the
that.
deck.
And,
Yeah, I
and
understand.
so I stopped there and I asked them. I said, "Can you?" And they had a truck with a grapple on it. I said, "Can you dig those branches out down at the bottom there?" And they said, "Well, you better go see those two guys in a white pickup." So I went over and talked to them. It was state DOT,
DOE.
DOE.
BOE.
Yep.
They rolled the window down. They were sitting in there running with their air conditioner on. They rolled the window down. "Can we help you?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Is it all right if they take those branches out of there? Are they touching the water?" I said, "Yeah." "No, you can't touch them."
What is so secret about the water? That's what I'd like to know.
Because they don't want you to stir it up and have mud going downstream.
Really.
Oh, yes. No.
if you did this in August, when it's the driest and the water's the lowest,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of, all that stuff that's in the stream between point A and point B where you ditch, above it and below it is all that grass and shit, and what it is a biofilter, and that's what they
Right.
want.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
That's
right.
and that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
We just need to dig from that bridge out there. Well, I'd like to go further personally,
I-
but at least from
300
that
feet.
bridge out there,
Yeah.
all the way down to them pine trees. And then there wouldn't happen. There was somewhere for the water to go. You could
right.
bevel that other end up,
Yeah.
and it would spread out.
Yeah.
Not hurt a damn thing. Jerry's all for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's those guys. They're the problem.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Well, I know Anderson couldn't test it in front of his place.
Well, years ago, when
it was a
Ed
swamp.
Kilpatrick had that pasture, he had the cattle in there. They
Yeah.
kept it 8 down, and they had a nice path.
And the ditch was deep.
Yes, it was.
But now,
I
without that,
told the guy from DOE that. He said, "Well, you gotta be careful about having cows pee in the creek."
Not a
See?
town.
when Randy was a kid,
Yes.
he told the guy, I was sitting right there, Randy told the guy, I swam a horse across that.
Yeah,
Swam a horse, that's how deep it was.
yeah,
Before Kilpatrick's had that, my grandfather rented that pasture every year, and we put our goddamn heifers there.
yeah,
And it kept it 8 down, and the water flowed.
yes. The water
So, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's,
Yeah,
you wanna, you go, sick them.
I'll get you some addresses and phone numbers.
Yeah, I'm not kidding you.
Oh, good. All right.
Cheering on John. They're
Yeah.
cheering you on.
Yeah.
They're cheering you on.
I mean,
I understand. I'm not arguing.
Joe Smith, Mary Dye, they've all confronted this, and
They can't get them to move.
no, they can't.
So it's obviously more important to have
Maybe Trump will fire him.
Maybe.
mutant fish and mutant turtles and mutant
Yeah,
whatever else is in there
Yeah.
for that stretch of water.
yeah,
Because when you start digging, they figure it out. They're going to either go up or down and get out of that mud for a while until
Yeah.
it clears up. So you're not going to cause an extinct species.
right,
It's one great big filter, and they love it.
right,
Is the
yeah,
bottom line.
yeah, it's a natural filter there.
And it doesn't matter about
Yeah.
us in town,
No.
or how many houses
Did-
flood, or how many times the state highway has to
Yeah.
close, or how much gravel gets washed away. They are not willing to budge on it, or
Well,
weren't
I
at that
noticed-
point.
I noticed it took years for the state to work out between here and Tico
Right,
to raise that highway.
right, right. I went to a meeting in Spokane, Jack, and there was 2 women there, one from Olympia and one from Seattle, and they were with the DOE. And we were sitting and having a cup of coffee and coffee before the meeting started. And I was talking about our flooding problem. And she said, "Well, Mr. Palmer, you know there are grants available. They'll come in and raise those houses in Oakesdale." And I said, "Ma'am, that is the stupidest damn statement I've ever heard."
That's it.
And they got up and walked away from that table and never looked at me or spoke to me the rest of the day. That's the way they are.
Well, then, let me ask you this. Does the city have any qualms if I put concrete up?
Where, around your
to
place?
Keep that water out.
You can put concrete around your place if you want to.
Eco block, $65, or $65.
Yeah. It's your property. Yeah. Yeah.
I just asking.
Anyway,
It's in consideration.
Yeah.
Well, make sure that you put it all the way around, or you'll end up like that other guy down the street there,
Yeah.
where the sidewalk goes in.
Yeah.
The wall did fine, the water stayed behind the wall, but it went right
Yeah.
in the sidewalk and into his house.
Well,
Yeah.
when it comes underneath the whole fence, I don't
yeah,
have a chance.
right.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you're gonna have to make a wall all the way around, or
Yeah.
if there's a place for it to get in, it will.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
right,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
we want. Have a
Right,
wall.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, approval of previous meeting minutes.
Move to
I
approve.
gotta do something.
Second.
We have a motion and a second
Wait,
to,
who seconded?
me, Claudia.
Thank
That
you.
place is too valuable.
Ally.
Motion and a second to approve the previous meeting minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Kate, you're up, sir.
So parking problem was nothing. It was somebody parked in front of the house. They were upset about it. The person's waiting to go to the gym. Not a big deal. Warner Us on 7th Street. Then The rest would be almost traffic hazard, utility problem all through the flood. We had an assault during the flooding over somebody wanting to remove items from somebody's house. Abnormal behavior was mental health issue. There's also a hit and run, but it's not on here, into a fence. No suspects at this time. Same fence. I don't know, with the snow coming down the hill from Crossett's down to Chris Johnson's place, it tends to be, they put up some rocks, which were a great idea, which I haven't found a car with damage to it yet, but it's somebody that lives up that way or visiting. The other one was animal problem, which is from a dog out in the county. Other than that, pretty quiet.
Okay. Thank you, Keith. Anybody got any questions for Keith? Okay, thank you. All right, Public Works report.
Okay, continue our weekly discharging samples to lab, same with the water, plowed snow and sanding streets, Oakesdale in February. And then at the end of February, we're going to deal with the flood. And repairing bridge approaches from the flood, graveling streets where they washed out, and repair the hydraulics on the bucket truck. Little gas station is still on here for the spring. Not finished doing the apple trees at the city shop. To continue to clean sidewalks and streets from flood debris. And we got to rebuild the access road to the grinder shed.
Yeah, how many tough roads you gonna take down there?
I don't know.
I was down there this afternoon when they were working and looked at it. I mean, they've got it.
They were trying to scrape what they could see went down a ways.
Oh yeah, they can't.
And I think it's too
The
much.
gravel that's all down in the lot, they're not getting it
They're not getting
until it goes down. But they
I don't
used a
think
lot
so
of those grindings to rebuild the road.
Yeah.
I mean, it needed a whole bunch of big rock, but we don't have big rock. But they got it back at least where you can get in and out of the grinder
Some
now.
3/4 plus.
Well,
they need some stuff like the railroads got down there right now.
Like down here on the corner,
Yeah,
you
In
know,
the ditch.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay.
it kind of has a tendency to stay there.
Yeah,
Are they
right.
gonna have enough gravel for all the repair?
I made a request to Whitman County to purchase gravel this year. We're kind of on an every other year thing. And their quarries are low. One of their projects may not happen this summer because they are low on gravel. Kind of getting an icky feeling that we may get denied.
Well, we can always buy
So,
gravel.
yeah,
It doesn't have
so-
to be from the county.
No, it's just
Then
the
we need
cheapest.
to.
You know,
And
you go
they're
to
close, and the haul
they're
is
close,
cheaper.
and you go to
Right.
the cheapest source.
Right.
But
So,
I see Palouse
yes,
or River Rock had both their big trucks running,
yes,
coming back. So
yes.
They've
Yes.
been busier, you can't hardly get a hold of them.
yeah, I'm sure there's.
So,
Yeah.
and as you can see, I'm kind of waiting too for TIB is going to be in town taking a look at everything, so that can make a difference too.
Right, right.
Question.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Yes. Yes.
One just
Our
before
county got a
dark.
state of emergency for all the flooding. Don't we get like extra help for that type of stuff?
Sorta. So if we have to repair anything, so if I do run out of gravel, it just gives me the right to not go to bid. I can just go to whoever I want to buy it, and it doesn't matter what the cost is, because we're have to meet, if it's a 5,000 or more threshold, we have to go to bid. But when there's been a declared an emergency, then that supersedes that, and you are allowed to go get whoever you can as soon as you can. So I can go shopping for gravel. It's expensive.
Nobody,
Yeah,
nobody's brought
It's
a
gonna
bunch
get
of
higher.
cash yet
Yeah.
to work
It's
on.
gonna get us any money.
Yeah. We're working on it though.
yeah,
We'll talk about it. You'll see here. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, old business, White Fiber is on hold yet. We haven't got anything back from them. New business, flood of 2025. Well,
I just quickly put together kind of how the day went and how we're fixing things and who we've reached out to and so on and so forth. So, just quickly we'll go through this. I was notified by Claudia at 5:30 in the morning that we were flooding.
Big time.
So, Staff on scene at 6. Fire Chief Dylan Donee notified the firemen that help was needed. He sent out a page for us. God bless him. And the sandbagging began. Councilman Sean Eckenwife, D, had coffee, water, sandwiches, snacks, and cookies at the fire station for the volunteers. Whitman County Emergency Management, Bill Tensfield, was on scene in the afternoon, and he brought us more sandbags. We did not run out, but it's nice having the extras. You just never know. And sand was provided. We just dumped our truck from the snowstorm. We had a whole new load on there, so we just dumped it between the two fire stations. And then we went and grabbed another load where we get it from the county. And let's see here. And we already have plenty. They come in bundles, like hay bundles is how the sandbags come. So we had several bundles, and we never did run out. Several citizens, many to list, came out to help us fill sandbags and help in any way. Roger Hager, Will Johnson, Aaron Davis provided their time and their tractors to help build up berms on Steptoe to control the floodwaters. We used gravel to start with. Of course, the floodwaters was just taking that away. And Pam said, you know what? We got so much snow. Let's use the snow.
Yeah.
And that did
Snow
help.
worked good.
The snow worked good. Yeah, we had a great idea there. The town staff and firemen helped sandbag the businesses. Actually, kind of had to do round 1 and round 2. We continue to clean up the sidewalks and the streets, bridges from the floodwaters. The library, our library building, was breached a little bit. It could have been a lot worse the way it was hitting those doors. But and we had immediately called Clean Line Carpet Cleaning. They came out and they cleaned all the mud and water that came in the back door on the concrete. They took care of the carpets. Sanya came in right away when it started flooding, and she pushed everything back to the corner and kept everything up. So it appeared no damage to books or any of their furniture, thanks to her quick thinking. I notified Transportation Improvement Board asking if they had any emergency funds to repair streets and bridge approaches. They were not aware of the flood in Whitman County.
Oh, wow.
So with Claudia's videos, her pictures, my pictures, I sent that to all of them. I had a Zoom meeting with them. Then Steve went around and took pictures of the aftermath, showing all the streets and bridge approaches, and sent it to them. And we have a meeting. They will be on site, coming out from the other side of the state on March 11th to inspect all the damages, and may be able to, through their board, produce some money. So he's kind of thinking, I would like to take your $50,000 in levy money, and let's add a couple $100,000 of our money, and maybe we just get the whole town taken care of. So fingers crossed, that would be an amazing thing to happen for Oakesdale. I reached out to Brian Wilson, Whitman County Operations Manager, trying to understand how the Whitman County declaring a state emergency affects the town of Oakesdale. And these are Brian's words. The state of emergency declaration is only county-wide, approved by the commissioners. At this time, it is not Washington State approved. Our governor would have to approve the state of emergency at the state level. We'll see if that happens. What the state of emergency declaration does is allows agencies or municipalities to more easily access resources to fix the damage. We don't have to go out to bid to hire contractors, and we aren't limited to a dollar amount as to how much we can spend on material for a single source. This would otherwise be a very lengthy process, which it is. The emergency declaration does not allow you to ditch in McCoy Creek through town or at the end of town unless it's repairing damage caused by the flood. No improvements are allowed. Ditching through or at the end of town is an improvement. The Conservation District and Department of Ecology is where you might get some answers. And I have not, Mayor Palmer talked to Casey. I haven't had Casey, hasn't reached back out to us, but he did contact Casey after the flood to discuss how that channel is so choked out south of town of the lagoons. And just reassuring people, the lagoons did not breach. Even though I know it looked bad out there, it did not breach. And then, of course, we notified our certified sewer operator. We notified our DOE permit manager of the flood, and that we were not able to discharge for 1 day because all those buildings, the lower sheds, were all underwater, clear up to the electrical panel.
Yeah.
So we had to shut down that part of it. But the grinders kept grinding. Even though we couldn't get to them, they kept grinding. And then the lagoon sheds, yeah, Richard said that, we're under several feet of water. So that was just kind of a nutshell in a very long day of what was going on. It was a long day for everyone. And it was amazing how, again, we all take care of each other, and we all appreciated the help the staff did. We couldn't have done it without help.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
You know, especially the 2 waves. Wasn't ready for the second wave.
No.
And it's amazing how fast that went down that night.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what was crazy.
It was creepy, actually,
Yeah.
by next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, where did it all go? It was crazy.
You haven't heard back from Casey?
I talked to him down there, and he said no. He said they wouldn't go along with it. It's the same old thing, you know. Yeah. I thought maybe with this flooding and everything, maybe that might put a little iron on the fire to get something done, and he said, I doubt it, no. So we'll just have to keep working on it. I'll give Jack some phone numbers and addresses, and
I do have one more question if I could ask it.
Yeah.
There is a sewer cover in our back, or our yard next to that, there by the bridge that goes down Bartlett.
the manhole cover.
It says sewer on top of it.
Oh, you're right. Okay, that's where they get down to work on the sewer. Yeah,
Does it-
right.
Where's the water go from there? Because the water from the creek was going right over the top of it.
Well, that's just so they can get down in there to the house, I think. So, yeah,
Oh, so all that do is fill
yeah,
up.
yeah, well, yeah.
It's just access
It's
to,
seep out. Yeah.
it should be just an access to a sewer main, but why would it be in a yard?
No,
Well, it's in
the
that
street,
bank.
in the street.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Goes down Bartlett.
yeah, right. Yeah.
I have a Facebook Live question on here. I think it's about preventing, what have we learned from this? What would we do different? And this person suggests that a rock pile be moved uptown someplace that is accessible during the flood events. Like, I know that the rock pile where it is.
Well,
I mean, would there ever, and I know people were going around saying, oh, well, where can I help fill sandbags at, kind of thing, but I don't know. Thinking of the future.
I know. We don't own
I
the
don't-
property
Well-
uptown.
Well, if you put it, just say if you put they're not saying, but I'm just
Yeah.
guessing, just say put a rock pile down by the fire station in that alleyway or something. I don't know. Where a community, I don't know what we did 11 years ago to fill sandbags.
Oh, but that's where we had it. We had it here
Right.
at the fire station.
You mean this last time it was there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, maybe this person didn't know that.
Yeah, nope, we put it between the 2 fire stations.
Okay,
Both sand piles.
yeah.
okay.
That's where we all were.
Okay, I only saw it by Sean's son's house.
No, that's Corey's.
Yeah.
That was Corey's private pile.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we were bringing it, and the truck would dump it between right here before you go up the hill to walk. It was right there.
They can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was not easy to get to because
Flooded.
the front street was flooded.
Right,
Filled up,
yeah.
backed up into there, unfortunately. Well, and then we got control of it, and then it came again.
For it to wash out in front of Wright
Yeah.
Station there, like
Yeah.
it did, that's, yeah.
And
Wonder if somebody didn't get hurt there.
what have we learned?
Be nice.
Put a snow on the ground up more than 48 hours, you're gonna flood.
On frozen
It
ground.
goes back to every flood we've had here. If you get downstream and get that cleaned out so the water can go, that's a dam down there, and it just holds it back. So, yeah.
How many times has that happened in Oakdale?
What's that?
How many times has that happened in Oakdale?
I was told
Several.
Well, it happened
4.
the second day I was mayor in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
and
year was
Not
it
bad.
when they had the spring
bad.
rain? That's
Yeah.
when it happened in
It
the
was
spring.
bad.
What year
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah.
6 or 7.
the museum.
Because I started in
Well,
05.
was it 64 when it flooded really bad?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't around.
Yeah.
And it flooded when,
Yeah, that spring one was bad, and then we had two
Yeah.
bad melts
I
like
wasn't
Right,
this.
here
yeah.
till about
Yeah,
59,
yeah,
60.
Yeah. No. So, anyway,
Yeah, I'm just curious. Trying to catch up on.
if we can get our government on board to clean that creek, well, then we'll be happy.
happy.
Oh, I know about
Yeah.
How do you, how do
I've already
you, yeah, I
toured
mean, you guys can knock this around
I
even
just
at
can't
other
remember.
meetings, but how do you prepare for frozen ground on,
Yeah.
Oh, you
You
don't.
don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
Well, then I know.
we have
Bill-
sandbags, you know, you just need
Right.
to, we don't have a place to store
Bill
full
is gonna
ones.
stay
No.
out.
And Pam and I have talked about that.
Could we store them up at the Willows? Or
We
what do you
don't
think?
have it,
Well, just-
it ran through the willows.
Yeah, yeah. So that's probably not good.
No, but yeah,
I got
that, we're still kicking around that where could we
They just wanna
add a
make sure they can
little
deliver.
place for pallets of
Wait,
full
wait,
ones
wait.
already.
Right, ready to go.
And not having a lot of answers yet for what buildings
Right,
we own.
right. Yeah,
What
well,
were you just saying? I couldn't read there.
Oh, we're discussing where we could possibly store full
full
sandbags.
pallets of
If you get
sandbags.
those smaller ones.
Oh, yeah.
See, the ones that we had from 11 years ago that we had so many bundles of, they were like gunny sacks. They were huge. And very, shoulders are very sore.
Yeah.
Very hard to maneuver.
Right.
You know, and to put enough, sand in there to make a difference. And then
Right.
there was no tying them off. It was
Right.
just twisting them. And thank goodness for the firemen and people younger that are willing to help because it took some muscle.
Right.
Yeah, it was some serious muscle.
Yeah.
So talking about thinking about what we own and where can we add on somewhere maybe a little bit just to put some pallets in.
Right.
Some sandbags. Getting the right size ones.
Right.
So I didn't look and see the last bundle that Bill brought us from Whitman County. If they were just still the great big ones too from what we
Yeah.
had before or not.
And then if you don't use them for 10 years, those
They'll
Right.
will rot.
Well,
So,
that's
Yeah.
another
you're
big
kind
thing.
of in a
Yeah.
catch-22 deal there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You go to all this effort to do that, and then
Yeah.
you go to use it, pick it up, and then it disintegrates
Yeah,
on
right.
you.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay.
I know.
Well,
Not that we want to keep kicking the can down the road, but
no.
yeah, right,
yeah, it's just
yeah,
it's a bummer.
yes. All right. Council member business. Bill,
I have none.
Sean, nothing? Claudia?
I just want to say anybody and everybody wherever I've been has been so thankful for the city, Public Works, the firemen, people in the community for what they did for the flood and
Right,
helping people. So
Right, yeah.
thank you to everyone.
yeah, thank you. Bruce,
Nothing.
Randy?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay. All right, before I do treasurer's report, is any of our guests got anything else they want to add before we, okay, good. All right, treasurer's report.
I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in
What time
favor?
is it?
7:28.
Very good.
You did good.
I was going to say
Randy was
7:25.
second.
Randy seconded. Yeah,
Every week.
yeah.
When you go, I'll show you what I